Nail or beauty school was just the beginning, right? What on earth do you do now? Welcome to the Salon Success podcast with Monaco Nail Academy. Our topics stretch beyond nails and into all things salon related, business, marketing, and social media, and at the very least hits you with real, honest stories about our experiences. This isn't school, this is real life, real business, and really freaking hard work. The Salon Success podcast is recorded live on Mondays at 5 p.m. New Zealand time via facebook.com/Monaco Nail Academy and available on Spotify and Google playlists. Before we get started, wherever you are, thumbs up, tag a friend in the comments, or hit that share button and support small businesses.
Kia ora, hello guys, and welcome to another podcast here at Monaco Nail Academy. We have got a whole crew on board for you tonight, so there's a lot of people. None of us have Tony's personal space boundaries, so I mean this should get interesting over the course of the evening. From wherever you're tuning in, hope you're happy to be here, hope you're excited. We've got some good stuff in store for you tonight. So let's see, we've got Toni here from TLC Nails.
Hi.
She's a regular, she's just usually on the other end of the camera. We've obviously got our veteran here, Penny.
Hey team.
And joined by Janelle.
Yo.
Who came straight from Compton. And Rochelle, who's just fresh off the plane, and you know her priorities are in the right order, so she's coming straight here. Oh, I am the main event tonight. Poor you guys. I'm Mariah here from Wishful Nails. So yay, thanks for joining us. And without further ado, let's dive on in. The topic tonight that I think I'm kind of taking the lead on a little bit, it's something I want to learn a bit about. I want to gain people's personal experiences and just kind of have a good old general chit chat about how it's worked, if it's worked, and that side of things is trade swaps. So yeah, what is a trade swap? What do they look like? I know they go by a lot of different names. I learned about 5 minutes ago that they can also be called Contras, either Contra deals, Contra swaps, Contra trades, something like that. The idea is effectively bartering, even, you know, swapping service for service or service for goods, as opposed to using cash or money in that sense. Yeah, real old school.
I love that.
Bartering. So, just quickly, Penny, I know you have done this like up to your eyeball, so we'll skip her, irrelevant. You've done them both from like a personal side of things, and then obviously again with like the salon when you were in charge of the salon. So
you want to know what it is? Yeah,
well, primarily from you, what was experience-wise, what have you got, just in the Cliff Notes version?
Yeah, I mean, bartering is the perfect description for contra or trade swaps, but it's essentially, instead of swapping money, it's swapping things or services.
Yeah.
So like ones that I've done in the past that were service-based and more personal, I had a contra for my hair, so I did their nails and they did my hair. I've had contra for eyelash extensions, and that, I mean, a lot of these have turned into really good long-term relationships even after they've ended. So Chrissy, I've worked with in lots of different ways beyond the initial eyelash extension trade swap. I had a trade swap with a florist, so that was really fun. I think I mentioned it on the last podcast, but her and I had this thing like that we found when we first got together, where I thought that I would be successful when I could afford flowers every week, and she thought she would be successful when she could always have her nails done, and we didn't know that before she was actually in my seat. And I've done lots of swaps for things like, I think I've also mentioned this on the last podcast, but I've done swaps with for launches where I've put goodie bags together using totally swapped stuff.
Yeah.
And I've also catered launch events using totally just trade swaps.
Wow.
So anytime that I don't have money, I do have nails. It's just anytime. Well, even if you don't, like, Contra costs you a lot less than real money.
Yeah. Cool. Toni, what about for yourself, either for your business or personally?
So mine's quite similar to Penny. I've done swaps for my hair because we're girls and that's important to us.
Top of the priority list.
And I also did a swap for a gym membership, which
Okay.
I felt was really awesome. Their target market was very similar to mine, which helped a lot. So yeah, I got free gym and the owner got free nails, so that was really awesome.
Yeah.
I also, when I had my 1 year salon anniversary earlier in the year, everything that I had in the goodie bags and the food supplied was all trade swapped. So
Awesome.
My wedding was trade swapped. I forgot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'll let Mariah ask me about that later. I just remembered.
Light bulb.
We get that a lot.
I don't want to make any groom swapping jokes, but Janelle, what have your experiences?
Well, I've done my main one at the moment is accounting.
Okay.
I can do my accountant's nails, and she does my
I would
accounting.
love to find. I've had a lawyer,
Okay.
but I'd love my accountant.
It's like less exciting than hair and eyelashes and that sort of thing,
it's
but
so much more
it's way
vital.
more
Yeah.
expensive
Yeah.
and like so much less stress
Kind of
off your
more
plate.
satisfying
Maybe
in a
even
way.
more valuable in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know before the podcast started, we were talking about doing like influencers and stuff. So
Yes.
I've done those a couple of times, but I think that's
You're
slightly
talking-
different than
Talking
what you
more
want to talk
about
about.
like exchanging your nail work
Yeah.
for their
Yeah, so
exposure.
my accountant at the moment is the only one I've got.
So I think that's definitely something that we'd like to come back to into these podcasts, which if you guys have any questions as we're working through, we'd definitely love to hear about, what you guys want to see as we continue on with this podcast and others to come.
So if you are listening on Spotify or something, we live stream this on Facebook. So when Mariah's referring to comments and things like that, they're coming from the live Facebook stream before we upload this the following day to wherever you're listening to it.
Yeah, thanks, Penny. Slightly important because they can't see me. And Rochelle, what about you? Your trade swap
I
experiences?
haven't done one, but I'm about to enter one, and
Okay.
I'm real excited about mine because I'm doing a set of nails in return for a tattoo.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's real
Who?
cool. One of my friends is learning to be a tattoo artist.
Oh, yeah.
And she's already amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm real excited to see how that goes.
Totally just
Awesome.
giving me an idea.
Yeah. So in terms of our listeners, watchers, subscribers, and the like, we've got Moana saying she's done a trade swap for paper towels.
Yes.
All right.
Paper towels like
the
it's
we do.
water.
Yeah.
The rate we go through.
Sounds pretty valuable, Moana. We'd love to know a bit more about how you found
Yeah.
yourself in that position. And who has a mass storage? Are they a doomsday prepper? Like, where has this come from?
She's hooked up with hoarders.
And Yana's also says, I trade swap for waxes. I assume she means like
Yeah.
personally. That's a good one, especially coming into summer. Hi, Jenna. She's watching, just saying hi. And so far, that's us. So that leads me into the next part in terms of how do I find, a trade swap? How do I, if I'm in search of something in particular, or if generally I'm just short of money and looking to get my eyebrows done, how do we go about? So from my own personal experience, I'd had heard fellow nail techs actually in classes and things like that talking about great arrangements that they'd had with people for getting their hair done. I think, Toni, it might have even been you the first time I even heard of this, about you having your hair done previously. And I was like, this is awesome, because I would love to be one of those people that's at the salon every 6 weeks, but life and mortgage and every other bill under the sun seems to come before here. So
Glad I taught you something.
So I think I very much was of a mindset that I specifically did want to find a hairdresser, and I thought that actually, like, now that I was backing my own nail work a little bit more and had that confidence, I kind of went in search of that. So for me, the way I went about that was I went and got my hair done with a hairdresser. I happened to like her work. And while she sat there rinsing me out at the basin, I asked if she'd, be interested in that kind of thing. And lucky for me, she was. And so far, it's working out. But that was my experience. How about you guys? Have any of you searched them out, or rather stumbled into them, or maybe even had people approach you?
With mine, it was more a case of she was doing my sister's accounting, and she knew my sister really well. They're best friends, and so it was like, oh, I need an accountant. Maybe I'll have a sly chat to her. And so my sister knew of my plan of asking her. So she was like, I'll get her a gift voucher and then she can come in and see you. So I was like, sweet, awesome, yes. And then when she came in, I was like, how much do you charge for accounting out of curiosity? And she goes, oh, da-da-da-da-da. But, we could always do that. And I was like, yes, sold me, please.
Couldn't have scripted that better yourself.
Actually, it was really good. But in terms of other stuff, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's just the one.
I'm like a fish out of water saying to someone,
with my friend who's going to do my tattoo, she was already a client.
Okay.
And so I'd already helped her stop nail biting. And I was like, so... want to do a set of nails for tattoo? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, sweet, done. Like, it was just,
especially when she's training, like you both get out of it. She gets the practice and you get
because soon
hopefully a good
honestly soon she will be like, Seventh Day Studio.
Yeah.
Works
Oh,
like
wow.
that.
Oh damn,
It's amazing. So
I think when I first started, I was way braver than I am now.
Definitely.
And also possibly slightly more desperate. I don't know, that one's iffy.
I prefer
But-
rose-tinted spectacles or something else, but maybe
I
desperate.
just quit my full-time job. So it's like, okay, whatever I can get for quote-unquote free,
Yeah.
the better. So the hair was literally just, it was a friend's new girlfriend who was opening up the salon. So I didn't know her, but I did have an in. But I just messaged her and was like, hey, I'm one of Ryan's friends. Like, I saw that you're opening a salon. Would you be keen on this? Straight away, yes. With Chrissy with the eyelashes was pretty similar. I think I just saw her posting on a Facebook group or something. And I was like, that sounds nice. And messaged her straight off the bat, do you want to swap? And she was like, yes. The flower trade swap, I found her at a networking event. So there was a monthly networking thing that me and my staff members went to one Wednesday a month, and it was a breakfast thing, and they always had a guest speaker who was like we got to listen to Trelise Cooper talking about starting up her business, stuff it was really cool, and it cost $10 a month. So I strongly encourage you guys to look for things like that. But Melanie was just one of the other guests, and you have some mingling time, and we were trying to push ourselves to do that because we're so uncomfortable doing that sort of thing. And she was just really friendly. But yeah, I don't know who brought it up first, but that's how I met her. With wedding stuff, literally just asked. Just
gotta be a bit cheeky. Yeah.
That's my philosophy. I'm like, the worst case scenario, they're gonna be no, and I'll be like, sweet, I'm gonna find someone else.
And so I
can't believe you did your wedding. That's awesome.
What?
I can't believe you did your wedding as a trade.
Yeah, so
weddings are expensive.
I know.
We spent $1,900 total of real money on our whole wedding.
We're all impressed.
I'm mad. I'm mad. I'm going.
We're mad.
But we trade swapped we trade swapped all of the photography. We trade swapped the makeup, the hair. Trade swapped. What else? The
celebrant hair makes sense.
Trade
the
swapped
celebrant.
the
Celebrant makes sense.
Which that part I just went on a directory of celebrants and picked. I was going for someone who looked
hang up
friendly. No, but she was the first person I contacted. But it was a girl. I did go for a girl.
That was my next question.
My ex-husband.
Not because of the trade swaps.
But he had his own business as well. He had a restaurant. So we also were able to, I think the celebrant and the photographer each took 50% nail vouchers and 50% restaurant vouchers. So
awesome.
We kind of had both
there.
But we definitely just were like, would you be interested in this?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I'm gobsmacked about the photography one. What?
Yeah. So good, right?
She says that with a facial expression that just tells us all she paid real good money on her
there's no such thing as a cheap wedding photographer.
Right, yeah.
No.
Well,
I think
we skipped on that in our photos.
Yeah. I think in terms of finding trade swaps, it's just asking. At the end of the day, I've asked heaps of people for trade swaps who've said no.
Yeah.
And
I was actually going to ask that.
Just brush it off. Oh, well, that's cool. Whatever.
Okay. So that was my next question. Have you ever been told no and other than throwing a patty on the floor?
And something that you need to you need to say no if someone asks you as well. You don't need to, but you need to know when to say no if someone asks you.
So.
And I've been told no when I've been like, please, and I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. So that actually leads me perfectly into my next question, which is actually about how do I protect myself when entering into like these trade swap agreements? Like there is, I guess, in sense like a verbal contract at the very least. But sometimes you get so excited by like free hair. Oh my gosh, that'd be so nice, that you forget to like think in like what you're giving up. And we keep using this terminology like free. I got this for free, but it isn't actually free. There's just no exchange of cash. And actual fact, like a little bit is about the balance of, you know, input for output. So in terms of protecting yourself, like a good place to start is possibly, you know, are you getting equal value? And so that's going to look different for everyone, I think. I spoke to a few of our students from Monaco Nail Academy over the weekend and had a few chats to them about situations that they'd been in. And actually quite a few people said what Toni was just saying about basically being approached by somebody or being at an appointment and then having that person find out that they did nails and then being like, oh, well, would you be interested in a trade swap? Now, this is specific to the beauty industry, but it doesn't have to be. And like, it's easy to do it with money, right? Like X amount of dollars equals X amount of dollars. Or like you just spoke about giving vouchers so that literally they can choose what they want. But I think the people I was speaking to were talking about like a service for service. So, you know, just for example, I'm thinking of myself here, a hairdresser appointment for me, because I've got crazy long hair, less so now, costs me significantly more than it would cost her to come and get her regular nail appointment done. For us, we balance that off in the sense that she's in every 2 weeks and my hair's about every 8 weeks. And yeah, don't look, camera. It's getting long. But, you know, that works for us, and we came to that kind of agreement. For us, we just keep like a running total. And so nobody's charged, but I do use a money amount to, you know, ensure that basically we're both getting value and nobody's getting ripped off. And that was something we spoke
It's a really
about.
good way to do it. I haven't like thought of it.
Yeah.
That way.
A lot of mine I do however much their service would be.
Yeah.
Then that's how much they would get out of me as well. That way, like, it's up to them how they set their prices.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that, but it means that we both get the same value technically.
And so they're not getting like a further discount either.
Yeah.
Is that correct for you? Yeah.
Yeah, with my accountant, she's paying, and then as we get closer to like the financial end of financial year, we're gonna like calculate how much she's gonna charge me, and then work out how much, like how many appointments,
kind of thing.
how many appointments that would be.
The best thing I can tell anyone is to go dollar for dollar. 100%. Like, I mean, when like the florist, that wasn't dollar for dollar, and I totally had the advantage there, like, because she would do a whole bouquet in exchange for, Janelle, do you want the mouse? She would do a whole bouquet in exchange for one set of nails, which at the time was absolutely not dollar for dollar in terms of what I was offering and what she was getting. But I feel like I've been taken advantage of in situations as well. The best thing I learned was to go dollar for dollar. I mean, I have a spray tan Contra at the moment, where I get a spray tan voucher and $25 for every appointment that she has. So she turns up with a voucher, she transfers $25, and then I do her nails. But with ones, I also trade swapped essential oils.
I told you, up to your eyeballs.
When I built up my collection, I trade swapped all of that. But in the cases of like when we closed down the full-time salon, I had 3 trade swaps running, and all of those were just on spreadsheets. And one of the things that was tricky was a lot of the people that you're trade swapping with aren't as savvy as you are.
Yes.
Like, I wasn't at the start. But so you'll say, cool, I'll send you a screenshot of the spreadsheet every fortnight after your appointment. And they're like, oh, don't worry about it. And I'm like, nah, I'm worrying about it. I am sending you that spreadsheet because I don't want there to be any disagreements.
Yeah.
Like, because if
it's in writing, like, it can't be argued with.
So I had a spreadsheet a tab on a spreadsheet for each trade swap. And I'd just have the date of the appointment and then a column for in or a column for out. So it would be like on the 4th of December, It was a lashes appointment, and that was $85 out.
Yeah.
And then on the 6th of December, that was a nail appointment, and that was $65 in.
Perfect.
And there'd be a running total at the
Oh,
bottom. And then so every time that there was an appointment, the very next day I'd send a screenshot of that
Yeah.
and be like, this is where we're up to. And that way there was no way that anyone could argue or anything. And
Yeah.
the thing is as well, it's not that they're going to be a dick about it and argue. It's that you've
You're
got
busy.
a friendship
Yeah,
with
yeah.
them.
And
Like
that's
you're
true.
not, you don't really trade swap without having some sort of bond or relationship.
That's what I was
in
going to
some
say.
way.
Like, you kind of, like, you get the friendship out of it.
Yeah,
Like,
the worst thing that you can do is have someone go, oh, you owe me this. And I, like, for me personally, I know that I will go, okay, have it. Because I hate the idea of the
Yeah.
conflict. The conflict gives me anxiety. And I'm like, no, I don't, just take it. Take whatever you think I owe you because I don't want to have to deal with this.
Yeah.
And so if I have a running spreadsheet instead, I can go, well, actually look at that email. And I have that backbone because I built it for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that
a really good idea.
That would be the one thing. And like, I know this is going back to the topic of influencers. So this will be something we bring up when we cover that one, but 100% work out like your dollar for dollar kind of thing and the return you're getting as well. Because when you do influencers, it's so much harder
Yeah.
because you need to decide all of those kind of things, but separate podcast.
And
Just
totally,
had to
yeah.
mention that.
Yeah, a whole lot of things
Yeah.
to talk about there. Another thing I was going to ask about, like one of the things that came through clearly again from talking to the students over the week was obviously like a very open communication. Definitely at the start when you kind of define the parameters of the arrangement, but also like during, you know, making sure that actually you're still happy, which kind of led me to think, do you do a trial period for these things? You know, do you say, hey, let's give it a go for 3 months and reassess it so that there is again predetermined time to like reflect and work out, is this actually working for me? Which for those people like yourself who don't want to go into like a conflict situation and like basically a breakup of sorts, like, oh yeah, thanks, it's been really fun, I've enjoyed it, but it's not for me anymore. And it was just like, it's run a natural course and I can go, yeah, never mind, it's not working out, I'm too busy. You know, even if that's the line that you choose to use. What do you guys think about a trial period?
I would say do it.
Yeah.
I personally have never done a trial period.
Yeah.
But we've always agreed that we have to give each other so much notice before we
That's
give
smart.
up.
Mm.
So it's kind of like a job contract. You have to
Yeah.
give 2 weeks or 4 weeks, whatever notice, so that it's not just cut,
Yeah.
you know, and that way you're kind of like, for me, it's a mentally prepared thing because
Yeah.
I hate change without notice.
Yeah.
See, I would go through that
So-
and like knowing that I've cut off, you know, in a few advance, I'd be so awkward, like,
And a lot of,
So,
a lot of my
I wish the whole audience could see Janelle's hand movements for that one.
a lot of my trade swaps have been one-offs as well,
Yeah.
so I don't have
Mm.
that
Okay.
kind of.
So what about, because you guys have talked about the issue of time, you know, like knowing in advance that it's coming to an end. What about pre-booking your appointments? Like I know I've had a few where I think because it's a trade swap, it's like, oh, I don't normally take a client on this day, but because it's you, I'll squeeze you in. And then I don't know if it's just had luck or whatnot, but there's been a few instances, and probably on both accounts, where it's been like, oh, I'm running really late, can we reschedule at the last minute? So like in a client's perspective, I'm like, oh hell no, like you can pay the blinking cancellation fee. But in this, like, why do they get so much more leeway? Do you guys do that, or is that just
I'm really strict with mine. I book
Okay.
them in the most inconvenient time, so they always come in during the week in the morning.
Yeah.
Because that's when I'm quiet.
Okay,
I
so we're
would
just
never
moving
let
it
them
to your
book it in an
advantage.
afternoon or a
Yeah.
late night.
Make
Peak
real
time.
money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like it depends on the person, because sometimes I'll accidentally enter into a trade swap slightly less formally than I would
Should do.
encourage people to do.
Yeah.
And in those cases, normally it slides, and so you end up with people that, like, I absolutely have people at the moment who rebook fairly last minute, but I kind of just, I don't know, if I'm careful with that, because I know those are the relationships where I am going to get frustrated. So like I'll just bring it up next time and be like, hey, just so you know, normally there is a cancellation fee for this. So I know that you're really busy, but maybe what we should do is something that works for both of us.
Yeah.
I definitely think that's something you need to plan as well, like
Yeah.
talk to them about, because
Yeah.
if you don't have any plans, that's how one of my other things has fallen apart, is because like I got really busy, they wanted to reschedule constantly and I couldn't fit them in.
Yeah.
So
I mean, but also though, like how Tony's doing off-peak times, I've done that before with influencers and stuff, but with trade swaps, if you're doing dollar for dollar, their dollars are worth as much as real money,
Yeah.
just to them.
Yeah.
You know, so depending on the person, the relationship, what they're swapping, just bear in mind that it's not really any different to money if it's a dollar for dollar swap. It's just at cost price. But it's still, they're still, I don't know. Just be careful with that.
And open communication as well.
Yeah.
So quick one with that,
Definitely.
when you said at cost, do you do like say set of nails is $95? Is that what you mean by dollar for dollar, or do you mean the cost price dollar?
No.
So I don't know, you might need to back up a little bit because you're quite quiet. But when I'm doing a swap dollar for dollar, it's my $85 backfill for your $85 whatever makeup.
Yeah.
But when I say cost price, I mean like it's not costing me $85 to do that.
Yeah.
So the benefit in the trade swap is that it's not costing me $85 to do the thing that I'm getting $85 value for. But it is still at the end of the day, like if I'm charging someone the equivalent of $85, like they're not getting my $85 for the makeup either. So if I'm charging them the equivalent of $85, then they can book whenever they want. It's just that if they reschedule last minute, they can also pay the damn cancellation fee.
Yeah. So hopefully Moana asked, do you do trade swaps in your working hours or additional? So hopefully that's kind of answered that a little bit for you. I would caution you, just from my own personal experience, about bending over too far backwards to accommodate these people. Like at the end of the day, they want to be like, you know, treat them as you would any other paying client. Like Penny said, they are paying, and whilst it doesn't cost us that much to do that service, it is still, like you said, very real currency.
And as soon as
you go.
As soon as you start like making exceptions, then you make more exceptions, and then it makes them feel special and like they can walk all over you.
Yes.
I have a
With your
general
experience.
rule about the working hours thing because, like, what we were just talking about was more along the lines of Toni saying she's off peak, but that's still her working hours.
Yes.
However, in terms of Moana saying like working
Like
hours
after
versus
hours
non-working hours, it depends how frivolous the thing is.
Yes.
So for me, if I want eyelash extensions, do I need eyelash extensions? No. Am I saving myself money? No.
Not really, because you wouldn't have bought them anyway.
I wouldn't have paid for them. So therefore, I'm not actually saving myself money. So that I'll do outside working hours. If I want eyelash extensions, I'm going to do it outside working hours. But if it's something
do you mean
like
go and get your eyelash extensions, or you mean do the
doing
client
their nails?
Okay.
Because I'm paying with nails.
I see.
So, but like with my hair, I would prioritize that. I would be spending real money on it if I wasn't trade swapping. Therefore, that can happen during working hours because in working hours, I earn my money and I would spend my money on my hair. I would never spend my money on eyelash extensions unless it was for like something
like a wedding.
Okay, which actually on the other side of the like a wedding. On the other
all the time now.
I'm proud of it.
Yeah, you should be. I'm just jealous.
On the other side of the coin, that's something for you to keep in mind for yourself as well. Like somebody coming to you and being like, hey, would you like, eyelash extensions? Let's just go with that. Would you like eyelash extensions and you'll do my nails, Contra deal. If you've never went and got eyelash extensions before, like, okay, the offer comes to you and it sounds nice and appealing, but don't be like, don't not check yourself just because it's like, oh, free stuff. It's not free. Like, you are still working for it. You may not exchange cash, but like if you never wanted the thing in the first place, that would be a bad reason to be entering into a relationship. Unless it was on like a casual, one-off basis. Sure, there's a little less commitment, but don't just go collecting all of these beauty treatments that you never in a million years ever would have got if it wasn't that somebody had approached
time
you.
out of your schedule that you're not getting stuff.
But also on that, like with the eyelash extensions, there are some nail techs, we all know there's some shoddy people out there.
Yeah.
So you'd kind of want to do like a one-off or do a research first and then be like, after this one, then we can work out a contract or something,
go pay for it first.
Yeah.
I actually have kind of a good example for the question that Mariah's just posing about like, well, not the question, but like being careful and knowing when to say no. But it's not quite a trade swap, but I think it ties in well enough. So basically, one of my friends from high school, who I'm still in touch with, still call her a friend, her brother is behind Drive Her. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like all over social media and they've had quite a splash, but basically it's a female-only Uber kind of thing. So basically to take out the safety issues, like the concerns that some girls have Ubering by themselves late at night, all of the drivers are female.
Okay.
And boys are only allowed in the car if they're with a girl. So like passengers, men can't be passengers on their own. There has to be a female passenger, and there will always be a female driver. So so Emily, my friend, had messaged me and said, basically from a nail perspective, would I be interested in kind of contributing nails as to a prize that they could promote and I could promote, and like I have a lot more followers than they do, and she acknowledged that and was like, I get that it's not totally fair, but how would you feel about possibly doing this? And the reason I think it's relevant is because what I did was actually think about it, because I want to help them. I think it's really cool.
It's a cause you can get behind as well.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't know her brother at all, but I did like meet him several times when I was at Emily's house as a kid kind of thing. So I still am a bit like, hey, that's someone I kind of know. I want them to do well, but at the end of the day, I don't want more clients. So what I did was go back to her and say, like, and actually I wrote out a response saying, yes, I'll do 2 vouchers. And then I deleted it and was like, actually, I don't want clients. But maybe what we could do is, and I mean, I had the luxury of twisting it to Monaco away from my nail stuff, but you could still do this, where I said, look, I don't actually want clients, but what if you did it more as a prize pack, and Monaco, the school, donated some polishes and some like hand creams and files and stuff, and they're the getting ready part of the night, and then you find a bar or a movie theater or something to donate a voucher, which is the event of the night, and then drive her as the transport for the night, and you turn it into like when a girls' night out kind of thing. But I think I just was able to go, actually, you know what, it doesn't matter that I want to help you. I don't want more clients. There's no point promoting me. But there is a point to promoting Monaco. Or you might say, I don't want more clients, but I do want school ball clients, or I do want more wedding bookings, or I do want to increase the number of like, I don't know, whatever. Sales. Retail and stuff like that. There's always something you want to promote, so you can twist it to work for you without having to say no.
So I think in summary then, like, make sure it works for you. Make sure that the like parameters are set well in advance, and that, you know, either you come back to it and redefine them later if things aren't working out, or that you have a trial period that comes to a natural end so that you can make like a graceful exit. Make sure it's something that you actually would have invested in one way or another anyway. Otherwise you're not actually getting anything out of it. And by all means, like, make sure that you're getting quality too, right? Like, it is money, you know, it is, you know, you should theoretically, you know, be getting the same value out of the service that they give any other client, and then in return offering the same quality of service. Not like, oh, we'll just skip the hand cream at the end, you don't need that, you know, like if every other client gets that, if every other client gets that, you know, they should theoretically be too. For those curious about Moana's hookups with the paper towels, she says, my friend works for Cotton Soft, so she gets amazing deals. It's all about who you know, ladies and gentlemen.
Can I get in on that?
That's up.
Exposure for Cotton Soft,
colleagues, right?
And Jenna has commented saying, I did a trade swap with my niece for childcare. I would do her nails once every 3 weeks as long as she wanted. As long as she looked after, I think that's Katara, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, once in that time frame. So, you know, it doesn't actually have to be all about making ourselves beautiful in the mirror. Right. It could just be about letting us get some sleep or a shower in peace.
Everything can be trade swapped.
Definitely,
you just have to find the right person.
They just have to want whatever you're offering.
This now. Oh my gosh.
She's like, I want to get married again.
I want more tattoos.
Yes.
Oh, I've trade swapped jewelry.
Oh, of course you have.
Can you stop, please?
I'm just hating on you so much today.
A jewelry line called Zabana, the owner of the jewelry line. I don't know how I found her at all, but
maybe they found you.
But she paid for her first appointment.
Okay.
I'm sure. And then she messaged and was like, hey, would you be keen on swapping? And she did those like cute little thin band rings with like stars and stuff on them. And so she'd just trade one of those every appointment.
Okay, we've got a little slight deviation here from conversation that's happening in our comment section. So I will just read them out and then we can kind of address them. Jenna has said a little side step to the topic. How do you put in place your cancellation fees? How and when do you inform your customer of it? And Tony has responded, not Tony that's here, another Tony.
Is it Stalker Tony?
Tony Masters?
Yeah, hi Stalker Tony.
I hope that's a term of endearment.
Yeah, she comments on all our podcasts, and now if she messages in the inbox like in normal day to day, she'll be like, "Hey, it's your friendly neighborhood stalker."
Clearly, we need to have a guest visit from our friendly neighborhood stalker at one stage. She's put here. Oh lordy, please make the cancellation post polite. Read one yesterday. I'd never go to her by the words used, rude and abrupt. So I'm going to make a little note here with my very official piece of paper that cancellation policies could be something that we
Talk about
come back to in a separate podcast.
Yeah,
I think
we can even have it as like a tack on thing.
Okay.
If a topic runs short one week, we can chat about it because it won't be like a whole podcast. We do
Speaking
have
of that would be really good as like an add-on for next week's podcast for Christmas.
Oh, here we go.
Well, we do also have a Salon Success module, which is called Creating Policies, and there's a number of lessons for like every policy. So if you go to monaco.ac.nz, click study, then beginners, and use the filters to find your online courses or your business courses. The Salon Success Creating Policies module is not actually that expensive.
Perfect. And then that covers so much more than just your what's happening when people are cancelling.
We'll definitely chat about it at the end of another podcast, but it's there as well.
So Tony has said Jenna is her name from the avatar. Oh, and then Jenna says yes from the waterbender.
It's a movie.
Are we talking about the last
Having a
Airbender?
conversation.
I think
I feel really old and like I missed some kind of reference.
While Mariah's working out what to do, if you are listening, give us a like because it means more people will see or hear what we're doing, or tag a friend if you're watching on Facebook, or share it to someone, one of your nail tech or beauty friends. If you're listening on Spotify, please just hit like, do it.
Or if you feel like you need an introduction to how to do it, oh my god.
Or you just want to help Janelle.
You know how we were talking earlier about how you guys don't like getting your nails done? Well, I still
before the podcast.
Yeah, before the podcast. Yeah. Well, I still suck at doing my master hand. So, is it a good idea? Like, it's not something you guys have done.
As in to trade swap.
Yeah, trade
you
swap
want to
nails.
do.
Like, you got a story to tell with this.
I would never.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing it and throughout New Year. So it's going to be on my off time as well, like holiday time as a one-off.
Yeah.
Just because I want to be friends with her and get friends with her. And
so you're just trade swapping for friendship?
And she's really cool. She wants her nails done. I want mine done by her. So I'm going to be doing that on an off time as well.
The only reason that I won't do it is because I can't. It's a time thing. So I'm quite quick.
True.
And there are lots of other people that are quite quick. But those of us that are quite quick are usually
not wanting to do it.
Yeah, but most people that are quite quick don't want to do it. Because if you're quick or if you're
attracting
fairly
clients
experienced, you're busy. You don't want to do it. And like nails are something that I have access to all around me at all times, so I can't justify it. But the people who do want it done, it's hard for me to see value for value because it's going to take me an hour to do theirs, and now I have to sit for 3 hours while they do mine. And although it's great that I didn't have to do the hand that's hard to do, it's the value thing we were talking about before. Yeah. I'm yet to find actual value, dollar for dollar maybe, but value for value on what works for me. If I can't do my hair, I can't do my lashes, I can't photograph my own wedding. So like
you try,
but I can. I'm a Scrooge in real life.
Yes.
So I can do my nails. Therefore, I can't justify sitting for any longer than it would take me to do it.
And also, why would you want to advertise someone else's work?
I would.
But like, if you were going to another local nail tech to get your nails done,
when someone admires your nails,
I'd rather someone admire my nails, and I could be like, yes, I did them.
Yeah, that's true. It's like word of mouth.
Yeah.
My issue with the whole thing.
Once client doesn't want more clients, that's kind of the perspective there too.
I was going to say, my issue is that I'm really picky with my nails. And like, I know what works on me. they might do something completely different, and then I'm screwed, or like they'll lift or something like that, because I'm in the industry. I know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And like that's the
The
problem.
urge to grab the file
Yeah.
and just nick something off.
Which,
is
by the
so,
way,
like,
don't ever do to your nail tech. They don't like it.
cool, slap you.
I personally don't have an issue with having someone else's nails on. And I know that like some of you might go, but that's because you don't want more clients, so you're biased. But no, I've always been like this, where like if me wearing your, like, say Rochelle's done my nails and I'm wearing Rochelle's work, and just for a laugh, let's just say that. I'm not being mean. Rochelle's giggling across from me. Let's say Rochelle's done my nails. Well, like if a client sees and goes, "Oh, I love your nails," first of all, they're not going to say who did them.
Yeah.
They're going to go, "Did you do them yourself?" Or they're going to go, "I love your nails," full stop.
Yeah.
If they say, "Did you do them yourself?" I'll say, "Actually, a friend of mine did." If they say, and we're now getting down to a smaller chance, "Who is that friend?" I'm going to say, "Rochelle." They're not going to, if they then go, "What's her Instagram handle?" Then, like, if we're getting to that point in the conversation where they've now asked 4 questions to work out who did my nails, then I need to look back on myself and be like, how are you not keeping this client?
Yeah.
Like, I've always been of the
I get what
view
you
that, like, if I lose a client to another nail tech, that's on me, not on them.
Yeah.
It's always
They
a
were
chance
good
to
enough
look
to
back
take them from you. They deserve that.
I wasn't making the client happy, and the new nail tech had something better to offer. That's a chance for me to look at myself, not to get shitty about it.
I hate to blow your bubble here, Penny, but Moana would like to say that she loves how Toni agreed on the Scrooge part comment.
No, I was agreeing that I'm a Scrooge as well.
Oh,
Like
I was
Janelle
nodding
and I
with
were
you
both
that
like,
I was
yeah.
saying Penny's a Scrooge.
I'm a Scrooge.
Well,
I don't spend money on anything outside of work.
Toni Masters noticed it too, so you know.
Well,
both of
that's
you
Because we were
said
both
Scrooge.
looking at each
You
other going,
said you're a Scrooge in real life, and
Oh,
Toni
and
went,
they
"Yep,
agreed.
yep, yeah." Moana's just said, "I just want to teach my partner how to do my cuticles on my other hand. Just one little tiny
Oh,
thing."
yeah.
Side
I
note,
just
my
wanna
hubby
point
does
out-
mine.
While everyone's making fun of me for being a Scrooge, so I'm taking you all out to dinner after this, so you better be nice to me. Otherwise,
Are we going to have a
Scrooge might
$2
come out. We're going to fish and chips now.
$5 pizzas.
We're not going to
Oh,
cancel your
yum.
$5 pizzas. That would make you too happy.
Yeah.
Oh,
On that
don't
note,
make you too fat. It's like, where are you going with this?
as we start winding down, I also want to cover off something that's really important. How do I end a trade swap that isn't working? Now, this might be because maybe like a relationship is soured. Maybe it's just actually you don't have the time to dedicate to this client anymore. Maybe it's just that you're not sure that you can give them exactly what they're after. Who knows? It could be that you've moved out of town. Any reason. But I know for a lot of us who care so passionately about what we do, like we invest quite a lot of ourselves in our work, it can be really hard to have maybe a courageous conversation with somebody, or even just to be like, it's not you, it's me. How do we go about breaking up with somebody that we have a trade
I'd
swap
probably just be
agreement?
like, yo, this isn't working. You can get
I'm
out
the
now.
same. I'm very honest with my business, so as soon as
Okay.
something's like changes, I straight up say it. Because the longer I wait, the more it screws
Yeah.
with my head, the more anxiety I get, the more I worry about it, and then it doesn't come out right.
I think
Yeah.
the hardest thing for me with doing like trade swaps as you build that relationship, then say at the end of it, you've got a friend,
Yes.
how you say like to them, I don't want to do this
Yeah.
without breaking that friendship.
I just think I'm more careful than Toni, like how, because Toni she's right. She's very blunt with her
I know
business
what
and
I
her
want.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. But I'm more careful when it's a trade swap, because at the end of the day, some of you who've done business training with me before will have heard me talk about queen bees. They're basically like the center of a word of mouth circle. So if you're trade swapping with a business owner whose target market is the same as yours, they are a queen bee. They are the center of a gossip hive, where if you piss them off, like if you come across accidentally
People know.
rude or anything like that, you're pissing off the wrong person. Because, like, for example, like my spray tan trade swap, which I value very much.
Hi, Jess.
Yeah, hi, Jess. With Tan in the City, like we got to know each other because we worked on Dancing with the Stars together. So she's got the same clients that have trickled over from that coming to her, like
Yeah.
I don't need, and she's so successful and so like well networked in her own right that I want to protect the relationship as much as I want, and I want to keep this trade swap. Let's get that out there. But
It's
like,
summer, don't take her off.
If I didn't want it anymore, I still want to protect that relationship. So I'm less blunt than Toni is for my own reasons.
Yeah, I guess like for me, if it wasn't working because of them, I'd be like, eh. But yeah,
But then
Depends who they are, though. Like,
Yeah.
if you said, like, they're a queen bee who has that network behind them, you don't want to
yeah,
just
yeah.
be
Oh
like,
yeah, totally.
Like, you do need to break it to them nicely,
Yeah.
but you do need to be very firm at the same time.
Yeah.
Because so
I-
many people
Don't
just
give
beat
them
around
hope.
the bush, and then it's and
Like,
it's
you
like,
can't be
oh,
friends
yeah.
where you can be friends.
The best thing is if you pick the right person, then they're also a fairly savvy business owner.
Yeah.
So like when I ended my previous hair swap years ago, it had been working really well. I was doing multiple girls in the salon. We had worked out from the start what value we were happy to swap.
Yeah.
So I knew that I had like 3 clients to do for every one time that I did my hair. But I always had to go to them. And when I first started doing it, I was doing a lot of mobile work. So it wasn't that big of a deal. By the time I got towards ending it, I was no longer doing anything mobile
And they were a
except
special
that.
trip.
So I would have to like pack everything up, and to pack everything up and then drive and then set it all up and then get my hair done and then do 3 sets of just gel polish, but 3 gel polishes, either during processing or after if I hadn't had time, and then pack it all up, drive home, set it back up for my next client. It was almost a whole day commitment, really, and that's what, like, the hair that they do is amazing. Name drop, live and let die. Like the hair that they do is amazing. There was never an issue with that, but it stopped being enjoyable for me to do that swap. I would rather pay for my hair, which is what I started
And
to
just
do.
get that,
I just started going 8 weekly instead of like 6 or whatever I was doing before that. And paying for it because I didn't want to have to pack up my shit and go there, and I didn't want to have to spend the processing time doing nails. I wanted because my hair would be kind of clipped up and like it'd fall down with dye in it. I'm like, it stopped being enjoyable. And so, but the thing is that Sarah is also a savvy businesswoman. So I just said to her, you know what, like the time it's taking me to do this appointment is not worth it anymore. So can I rebook but pay you? And if you guys want to come and get your nails done, go hard. Like come to me. But I don't do mobile anymore, so it's not working. Yeah. And she was chill with it because she gets it.
Yeah.
Like if someone's not going to understand from a business perspective, then it's the relationship's tricky anyway.
Yeah.
And you just need to give them a reason why.
Yeah.
Because they need to realize what it is that's making it not work.
Which is fine if it's not a personal reason, I think. But like, what if is it actually you're genuinely not happy with the job that they're doing?
See, if you're not happy with the job, that should have come up before.
Yeah.
Like,
that's what I was meaning about. Like, do
you think try before you buy?
Yeah, yeah.
I definitely think try once before you buy, but I also just think like if something's not working, like. Say, for example, and this is a hypothetical, this is not what happened, but say, for example, the flowers I was getting started not being as good or not being, they were just flowers chucked together or whatever instead of being a bouquet. I would have just said, and probably by text, because I'm a chicken, I wouldn't have done it in person, but I would have just waited a couple of days and been like, hey, next time, could we possibly have something like this for this reason? Like, I want to post it on Instagram or whatever. And I'd try a really subtle route like that first, just being like, hey, I really want to promote you next time, so can we make sure that it's like a proper bouquet like you used to do at the start? And then like often that's enough of a hint to be like, oh shit, yeah, I've dropped the ball. Like it's like what Mariah was saying before when she said if it's a trade swap, they should still get the moisturizer at the end and all those bells and whistles. I've definitely dropped that ball with a trade swap because I'm like, well, like they're not paying me, but and sometimes you do just need that little wake up call to be like, oh shit, like check yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Toni Masters has made the suggestion that you use caller ID and don't answer. I understand where you're coming from, Toni Masters. However, I don't think you can be the expert on the next podcast. I don't know. Again, maybe I'm more in line with Toni here, and that like I'm very much of the opinion like say what you mean and mean what you say, and sometimes that's good, and that like my
In
word
a
is
nice
my
way.
bond. Absolutely. And I also am of the opinion that whole thing about like, if you're going to say something, is it true, is it kind, is it helpful?
Yeah.
You know, like, you're not, yeah, sure. But you're not ending this, theoretically, you're not ending this relationship because you just can't stand this person anymore, we hope. It's just that for whatever reason, it's not convenient, it's not worth it, it's not whatever. And like, you're not breaking up with them to break their heart, you know? Like, you genuinely want them to find a new nail tech and live happily ever after.
First.
Yeah.
But the number one thing I would say is break up with them before you hate them.
Yeah.
Because so many times I've been, well, not so many, but enough. I've been like, not happy, and then you start resenting them. But I'm too scared to break up with them. Janelle is screaming yes in her head right now. Like I'm too scared to break up with them. I don't want to deal with conflict. I don't want someone to be mad at me. I don't want bad word of mouth because I fired them. And so I don't. And then by the time I actually stop it, I hate doing it. I'm resenting the appointment, and then the whole thing is sour. It's a sour experience. Like if you just recognize straight away or as quickly as possible that's not working, and either find a solution to change it, or
Rochelle is that guy.
But yeah, stop it or try and fix it first and then stop it early.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Because I think it
I'm
would
just
be
like the klutz today. I'm so
You
sorry.
are,
Those
you
people
are
that are
really
watching.
that person.
It's all right. No one
just
on
got a
Spotify will
crutch
know that you
shot.
just knocked the camera.
I'm just glad it was Tony's crutch shot, not mine.
It's a beautiful crotch anyway, regardless.
Thank you, Janelle.
Oh god, I'm so sorry, guys.
But she still doesn't want to trade swap with you. Sorry.
No.
Don't know what was swapping there.
No, neither. Anyway,
I don't want to know.
It's warm in the room. It's gone nuts.
Yeah.
Overheating.
I wanted to do a little public service announcement that for those of our students who are listening at the moment, we have got Goddess in stock, which is very exciting, especially this time of year if you're trying to do your Christmas nail art.
Just in case anyone doesn't know, that is the amazing rose gold gel polish color.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you don't
that's probably
know,
my fave.
you
Well,
should.
not everyone listening knows that Monaco Nail Academy also stocks artistic colour gloss products for our Kiwi customers.
Gotcha.
We've got a few internationals out there.
Yeah. Not all
right,
us. Just some of us. So on that same day, we had the Darty lotions are in stock as well. If you want some little stocking stuffers for
Yes.
I
clients
spent
or
way
no,
too many
things like
hours
that.
this morning
unpacking
unpacking.
those.
Yeah.
But you smell amazing. So.
I know, it's pretty hot in here.
I'm gonna just stay on this side of the desk.
Yeah.
And the final thing deserves a special mention because Penny has been working round the clock on this one, and we are all very excited to get a little peek into your brain once again.
It's a
Well,
bit
it's
terrifying.
Well, at least the nail art fine line side of your brain. Fine lines is something that I think at least at one point in time we've all struggled with. I'm sure I still have the day where I'm just like,
We're all shaking our heads in the room.
straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a secret stash of chocolate for when every time you get like the shakes and just
Legit,
cannot
I
get it
have
straight.
to eat a block of
Yeah.
chocolate when I know a client is coming in and wanting detailed art.
There you go.
I
So
don't
daily.
show.
That's so daily.
No, I've had one row in 3 weeks. You should be so proud of
so
me.
That would not work. I would be like scoffing.
Oh no,
that.
I used to go
No.
through a block a day, but I'm recently trying to
You're a
sort my life
reformed
It's not
gym woman.
exaggerating.
With the KFC
So what
pizza.
Mariah's trying to say is that if you go to www.monaco.ac.nz, our 6th nail art online module, The Art of Fine Lines, is now available. So
Yay!
I'm so excited
That's
for
what
that.
Mariah was trying to tell everyone.
Before we all
These
went on
guys are getting
vacation.
hungry and
hot.
It's not pretty. Yeah. So thanks everyone so much for joining us and listening in today. Hopefully we've answered any questions that you may have had about trade swaps and contra deals or bartering even in this side of the world. You know, there's a few perks that we need to also be aware of and take advantage of. You know, you train for a number of reasons and it's good to kind of like cash in a little bit of that. So I think that was definitely, I learned a few things. Hopefully you guys listening definitely learned a few things. And I'm really grateful that well, we all are really grateful that you tune in and listen to our crazy hot room sweaty chats.
The Monaco Hill Academy hotspot.
No.
It's only because we have to have the aircon, the fans off, and the windows closed so that you guys can have the benefit of clear audio.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
You can thank us later. We like dairy milk chocolate, apparently.
No, it has to be Whittaker's.
Yeah.
Or don't talk to me.
Let's not start a dividing war about chocolate this close to Christmas. I'd like to see the new year.
And
please.
this close to dinner.
Yeah.
So on that note, I'm hungry. I'd like to eat something, and I'm sure you guys are sick of listening to us now that we've done with the good bits. I want to thank Toni from TLC.nails for coming in. So her handle is just there if you want to check out some of the amazing fine line work that she does after her roll of chocolate. That is where you will find it. Also Aphrodite.iris, so that's Rochelle's handle.
Yeah.
Rochelle, what are they going to see? What's your most recent?
Ooh, I think my most recent is glitter.
Oh,
I'm a glitter
shocking.
fiend. Glitter fiend.
And then we've got Janelle over at Plume Nail Design.
Woo woo.
P-L-U-M-E.
An E with an E.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I think people do. They go PLUM, and I'm like, there's an E.
Plume Nail Design. You can't miss her work. It really is show-stopping. So definitely have a look at that.
Thanks, honey.
You're welcome. We've obviously got the needs no introduction, but Penny Lawler Nail Artist.
I mean, it might.
Please don't make me spell that one out.
Yeah, true.
L-A-W-L-E-R. It's the only bit that's hard.
Okay. Penny Lawler Nail Artist, and she is the brains behind this operation, so we really couldn't do it without her.
I mean, I'm trying to train you to be able to do it without me. But
She's trying, guys. It shouldn't be held.
Now Mariah's doing it. She can take over from
I
here.
was telling I can't be tamed. And that you can find me over on Wished For Nails, and that's Facebook and Instagram and all of that side of things too. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. Give us a like, give us a share, send our little rambling antics onto your friends. They will thank you for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Riley.
So,
Oh, okay. So a little teaser
Yeah.
for what's coming next week. You don't want to miss next week because
so
jeez, that's a drum roll.
so we have a friend of Monaco, Riley, coming to do a financial analysis on Rochelle and prescribe for her goals
I forgot about this.
yeah, and talk about like business insurance and like maybe depending on Rochelle's goals, so she tailors it to everyone. But her service is totally free, so you guys are going to get an insight into what it looks like, and then you'll be able to contact Riley for the same thing for free afterwards.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool. So same bat time, same bat channel, 5 o'clock on Monday if you're in New Zealand. Otherwise, you guys can catch it on Spotify and Google Play
Yeah,
the
and like
next
pretty
day.
much everywhere. We're still working on iTunes, but everywhere else you can get it the next day.
Awesome. So yeah, don't miss it. As I said at the beginning of the night, we would love to hear any questions or suggestions of stuff that you guys would like to talk. Ultimately, this podcast is for you guys. So let us know what you want to know, what you want to talk about, what you want to learn about. We've got obviously cancellation policies and a few other things to cover off. And obviously Riley's coming in next week. It's been a blast. Thank you for the kind wishes for dinner. We will definitely enjoy ourselves. And we will catch you all next time. So bye for now.
Bye.